Any work makes me suicidally depressed. The truth is, I hate work. It makes me suicidally depressed. I would sell my soul to feel differently, and I have tried for years and years to overcome it. But it's not something I have any control over, and no amount of therapy, antidepressants helps. I'm in constant fight or flight mode, and I'm constantly battling with a voice in my head screaming, "Run!" It frightens me to death because I'm going to lose everything. As much as I'm terrified of winding up homeless, it's still preferable to being at work. Can anyone else relate to this? Edit. Thank you all for your replies. I'm beginning to see that my brain kicks into survival mode because of fears of inadequacy and worry about giving a bad performance and winding up being fired. Our brains really can be our worst enemies. Edit 2. This video has been one hell of an eye-opener. The real reason why you are so anxious at work. YouTube.com. Even though I don't hate what I do, my instinct is still to fly. As this long weekend winds down, I feel my brain going into that irrational plot mode where I think, what will happen if I just don't show up? Quote, but then I remember my measly savings and my soul shrivels up some more. I'd like to do some serious brainstorming in 2024 about things I actually want to do, something that would put food in my belly and a roof over my head without making me horribly depressed. Yes, I hate work. No matter how good a job is, it gives me anxiety on Sundays that Monday is coming. Plus, my sleep schedule takes a toll, as I've always liked an early shift. So it ends early. The only equation to dote is a 3-day weekend. While I imagine I will adjust and the issues will start over again. Having enough time to get done what I need to get done at home, and not having to be at work for 5 horrible days in a row seems to mitigate my issues a bit. Try to find a government job. Generally, the lack of profit motives makes for a more chill environment. I worked for my county over the summer, and my boss didn't care if I came in an hour late. Yeah, I hate work, and I love to be lazy. People think I'm joking when I talk about it, but I would love to lounge in my garden and read books all day. Every day. You all should look into the PDA subtype of autism. PDA equals pathological demand avoidance or persistent drive for autonomy. It's a strong nervous system reaction to perceived demands or injustice. It literally makes you go into fight or flight when you feel like people are making demands of you. Brains are great. A lot of people on Reddit post about autistic struggles without knowing they're autistic. This won't apply to everyone, but it'll apply to some of you. Knowing I had PDA autism probably saved my life. PDA-ERs have pretty specific needs, and when you don't know that about yourself, life sucks a lot. Grimace. We tend to need to work independently and on our own terms, and we typically need a bunch of different strategies to get through tasks we don't want to do. I understand this on a personal level, as I feel it every other day. For me, the pain is unbearable and I don't want to exit, so I'm in therapy to try to develop better coping strategies. This world is broken, but there's still some hope left, I think. I wish you all the strength in the world to fight this pain and misery with a glorious middle finger. Happy New Year, stranger. Same. I just quit my job after almost 20 years. It was making me physically ill to go to work. Anxiety was causing severe gastrointestinal issues. It's probably autism-related PDA in my case. Luckily, I still have insurance through my wife to get treatment, so I can maybe find another job in the near future. I wish you well. Dealing with this is as hard as anything I can imagine. This is why I haven't worked more than 4 days a week in years. It's financially very difficult, but when I'm working 5+ days a week, I very quickly become suicidal. This post makes me feel less alone. Yeah, this is exactly why we need universal basic income. Same. I haven't worked once in my life without being suicidal. Thank you for existing and helping me relate, even if it is through sadness. How TF is all this shit necessary? Don't we have enough resources for all of us? Listen, you put my feelings in words, lol. This is exactly how I feel at work. I don't know about your history, so this might be a horrendously stupid question, but have you considered you may be on the autism spectrum? Hear me out. Every day of my life feels like a constant fight or flight mode. Because everything, lights, noises, certain surface textures, sudden loud sounds, you get the picture, overwhelms me. Being overwhelmed constantly, in turn, burns me out fast, and then eventually makes me hate working. And everything about it. Where I work, what I do, the people I work with, etc. Sound familiar? I thought everyone went through life like that, and that I was just a little too sensitive or something, until I finally got to take the autism tests, and had an answer as to why my brain is like this. Because it's just, quite literally, not wired right, leading everything to seem dangerous. And that's not something you can control, which is completely okay. Consider looking into part-time, if you can afford to. That's what I'm going to do as soon as I save up a decent amount. Also, if you can't afford to get part-time, but you have PTO, don't be afraid to use it. You won't be any use if you don't take care of yourself first. I wish you luck. The only route that didn't make me feel this way is running my own business via self-employed. Pick up a gig or start a small business on the side. Once you can pay your rent GTFO of your day job. Good luck. You can do it. I work 12 hours a week and I still hate it. And mine is actually a fun job. So yeah, I feel you, dude. Same. I feel this so much. Even now that I found an easy WFH job that pays well, I still hate it. But it is better than it used to be. It's a real shame we weren't born into a better society that valued life over money. Same. Haven't been able to work in months because I'm so traumatized up to this point. I have accepted homelessness being inevitable at a certain point because there is no way for me to go back into any workforce because they are all so ignorantly, needlessly cruel. Therapy didn't work. Friends didn't help. Family doesn't care. I'm drowning in grief and rage, and I don't want to do drugs or alcohol to cope, but I think as time goes on, if I want to live in this world, I'll have to kill off parts of myself with drugs and alcohol. It's all just so shameful. I'm not even sure if good people even exist, or ever have. Because of the way I've been treated in institutions I've had no choice but to be a part of. I think people care more about abusing others than making money in this world. Money is just the excuse to abuse. I'm like this. It's a small part of why I'm trying to get disability. Every time I've had a job, which generally lasts less than 6 months, I just constantly think about stepping in front of passing buses. It's so draining on my mental health. And I too have the flight or fight feelings the whole time I'm there. Going to work every day started with a building panic the closer I got to the job. I just take acid before work every day. It's because work, as it is unnatural. I would say the majority of people don't want to work, but can manage it, and so they do. For other people it's more difficult because it just makes no sense to your brain and is an unfair demand that takes and takes until you're mentally exhausted and defensive. It's seen as a threat. I'm sorry you feel this way. I feel this way too. Maybe therapy would help? You could look into having ADHD, autism, as these things can make the demand of work almost impossible to follow through with. You could also seek out therapy as a means of gaining knowledge and skills to mitigate the stress.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.